Hi lovely booktubers, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm here in the book shack. It is a rainy Sunday afternoon and I'm going to go through my reading wrap up for this week. Now, as I said to anyone who watched a video I put up yesterday, for this month I'm taking part in Occult Detective October and also Victober, as well as trying to get some of my own reading done as well. So I'm splitting the videos. I put the video for Occult Detective October's first week up yesterday, and I'll put the video for Victober's first week up tomorrow. This is what's left, and hopefully it should be one of my shorter videos because there isn't that much left. We'll start with this. It's one of the Oxford University Press very short introductions, and I've hooked out all the ones I've got that are relevant to the fourth quarter of Historython, which deals with 1820 to the present day. This one, it sort of ties in with Victober, but it isn't Victorian literature. It's a very short introduction to Charles Dickens by Jenny Hartley. The last one of these I read was, I think, the week before last, and it was Shakespeare by Germaine Greer. And I found it quite difficult, actually. I found it quite inaccessible. It's just the way Germaine Greer writes. This doesn't have that same problem. This I found extremely easy to read, and it came up with many things that I didn't know about Charles Dickens. I am by no means any sort of scholar. I've read a couple of his works. I put them off for many years because I hadn't enjoyed them at school, but I have previously read Oliver Twist many years ago when I was a child, and A Christmas Carol. I read Hard Times, the most recently, which was something I studied at school and hated. Read it this time, loved it. And also within the last sort of 2 years, 18 months, I suppose, I've read A Tale of Two Cities, which I also loved. So I am more than happy to continue with some Charles Dickens. This deals with all sorts of things. It deals with Dickens as a radical. It deals with his characters and how he got his characterization. It deals a lot with something I didn't know. He was a great walker, nighttime walker, and he took in every aspect of London or Portsmouth or wherever he was at the time. It deals with plot structures and his naming of characters, which I've always found absolutely hilarious. For a quick taster of Charles Dickens, his life and his works, I think this is a good little book. Next up, I read a book of poetry. This was one that came up on BookBub. And it's Amanda Gorman, Call Us What We Carry. I'm trying to learn some more about poetry. I don't know very much about it. So I'm buying books in secondhand bookshops when I see them. And like I say, this came up on BookBub the other day. It cost me 99p or something. I first came across Amanda Gorman, like a lot of English people, when she performed her poem at President Biden's inauguration. I was blown away by her performance of it. And it sort of reinforced to me that poetry should be heard. Spoken poetry has so much more meaning for me, I thought, than reading the written word. But this book plays around with design as well. And so some of these poems need to be seen on the page to appreciate the fact. There's one in here that is written and it's formatted so it looks like the world. There's another one that's formatted so it looks like a flower vase. So maybe it doesn't always need to be performed, which has sort of got me more confused about it. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. These are poems mostly about the time of the COVID pandemic and lockdown, and it finishes with the presidential inauguration poem, which I've listened to many times. When I read it, I don't think it has the same impact. I needed to hear that one. But there's other things in here. There's a poem in here called The Truth in One Nation. And it's one of the longer poems in there, but this piece really resonated with me. Stars and stripes, schools scared to death, school drills of death. The truth is, one education under desk, stooped low from bullets. Soon comes the sharp plunge when we must ask where our children shall live, and how, and if. Who else shall we let perish? Again, language matters. Children have been taught America, without her, democracy fails. But the truth is, America without her democracy fails. I thought that was really good. I enjoyed all of these. I'll certainly read some more. I'm enjoying my foray into poetry. Next, we're back to Utah. We're back to Utah and its book ban. And I'm in danger of disseminating pornography, according to Utah. The book group that MJ has set up on the app Fable, which is quite new to me and I'm still figuring out how it works. Last month we read A Court of Thorns and Roses, yes, by Sarah J. Maas, one of the Utah banned books. Sarah J. Maas has 6 books banned by the state of Utah. Also on that list is this, Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. This was shortlisted both for the Orange and for the Man Booker Prize. Margaret Atwood, as we all know, is a very, very well-respected author. I don't know what I expected from this, but it wasn't this. This book pulled me in the first few sentences. I'm not going to tell you a lot about what it's about because, like I say, it's a group read. It's the October group read. We're only very early into October. I haven't finished this. I will probably finish it this evening. But this is a dystopian book that appears to me to get darker and darker as it goes on. Now, there is absolutely no way this book should be banned on the basis that I don't think any books should be banned. It is darker though, and you know, if it was a film, it would say parental guidance. Parental guidance rather than book banning, I feel, is the way forward. But this is brilliant. Margaret Atwood just writes so well. And we've got a dystopian world. Something has happened. We know not what. And we're alternating between the present and the past. One character's past specifically. His name is the Snowman, and also known as Jimmy. And he is our narrator, and he is alternating between his childhood, adolescence, and early adulthood to now, where everything has changed. I didn't realise before starting it, this is the first of a trilogy. I think I got 100 pages in before I got the other 2 books in the trilogy, because this is so good I can't imagine leaving it midway through. There's another couple of books that I'm reading, and I've only just started these. Both of these are for Historathon. Again, this one has a sort of Victober tie-in. 19th century Britain, another one of the very short introductions from Oxford University Press. I've only just started the first chapter on this. This is by Christopher Harvey and H.C.G. Matthew. Obviously, it isn't Victorian literature again, but it tells you a bit about that period, and also it fits for the 4th quarter of Historathon. This one, I'll probably read more of this evening. This just is fascinating. East West Street by Philippe Sands, who is an international lawyer who is invited to the Ukraine to give a talk. And this is him on a journey to find out about his family's past. He writes really well, and I'm very much looking forward to getting further into this. So that's it for this week's reads. Well, this week's non-Occult Detective, non-Victober reads. Thank you for popping by. Like I say, nice and short. And for anyone who is interested in Victober and my Victober reads for week 1, I will be doing a wrap up of those tomorrow. So thank you for stopping by. Feel free to like and subscribe. That would be lovely. And hopefully I shall speak to you again soon. Bye for now.